Hello there, all you friends, true believers, and newcomers alike, and welcome to another Superfly Comics Guy haul video. This time featuring all of the books I picked up between February and April of 2024. Got a healthy mix of Volume 2s and a healthy mix of Volume News, but we will not be doing any reviews here. This is more of an overview situation, first impressions, because I haven't really read a lot of these books yet. But if you do want to see reviews, feel free to stick around on this channel and I will put out a review of each of these books when I get to them. So we got a decent amount here, and I like to go in ascending order of my personal excitement for these books. So if you enjoy the video at any point, you know how to show it, and feel free to leave your own thoughts in the comments down below. Which books are you excited for, which ones you've read before or enjoy, whatever you want, you can leave it down there and we can have a discussion. And remember, on this channel, when we hit 1,000 subscribers, I will be doing... Wait, I'm sorry, what? We're at how many? No, hold on, let me check. You must be pulling my leg here. Oh my god. You mad lads actually did it. Why there's 1,000 of you that care enough about a guy in his basement making videos about comics, I don't really know. But I am so thankful and so happy to have you guys here. And I guess that means I finally owe you guys that Omnibus collection tour I've been planning and promising for so long. So guess I better get to it and start making that video, huh? But for now, we got a lot of books to look at, so let's do that first. Alright, up first, he might be immortal, but I don't think the binding on this book will be. The Immortal Hulk Omnibus. Freaking thicky of a book. Let's open this up. Okay, so Immortal Hulk. Got here the standard cover by Alex Ross. Very colorful, very dynamic picture, which is why I went with this one. There is a direct market available as well, but it's basically just a floating head picture of the Hulk, and I didn't find that too interesting for a cover piece. Let's take a look at the spine. Jesus Christ, such a chonky book. This might be the biggest omnibus now, right? Because it's well over 1,600 pages, I'm pretty sure. Crazy. Anyway, this collects the Immortal Hulk series from, when did it come out? Late 2010s, I don't know the exact year though. Pretty recent though. Cover price of $150 US, $187.50 Canadian. I picked this up for around 130 Canadian from BD Cosmos actually. Little comic shop here in Canada, in Quebec actually. I was pretty happy with them. Got it heavily discounted because apparently it was marked as a dust jacket defect. I don't really see anything. Maybe like this bit of folding here at the top. But I was pretty happy with that discounted price. Cover gallery here. I think Alex Ross does all of the covers in this series. He's got this very distinct painted sort of art style. Let's have a look under the dust jacket here. See what... Ooh, very pretty. Look at all those pretty colors. I'm a little nervous to... Oh, it's a wraparound. Okay. Great. So I'll have to open this big-ass book face down and hope the binding doesn't completely destroy itself. But let's stretch the book first and then we'll worry about that later. Okay, so that's roughly halfway through, and I gotta say, that's amazing binding. For a book this big, look at that eye. Holy crap. Wow, that's really impressive. Hold on. The pages are relatively thin, but honestly, they kind of have to be for a book of this size. If you had big, thick pages, this book would be tearing itself apart. The gutter loss doesn't seem too bad. The art, oh my god, is very grotesque at times. I haven't noticed, looks like mostly dark colors, so I haven't noticed really any color bleed happening. Alright, well, let's be brave and try to take a look at that wraparound cover and hope this book doesn't die on us. Oh god. Pray for me. Oh, hold it together, baby, you can do it. Oh, there we go. Not so bad. Nice. Yeah, another beautiful piece by Alex Ross. Hulk's head looks so square here, it just looks like a cube. Apparently cameo from God up there, very nice. No, I don't know. I'm not that familiar with Hulk characters. I'm making stuff up. But let's take a bit of a flip through this book and see what awaits us. Yeah, I wasn't going to pick this book up at first, because as I said, I'm not really that into Hulk. I did enjoy Planet Hulk, which I reviewed on the channel in the past. I haven't gotten around to reading World War Hulk, the trade paperback I picked up last year, but let's be honest, there's a lot of stuff I haven't gotten around to reading. I was intrigued by this series because it's meant to be like a horror perspective on Hulk, because I think like every time he dies, he comes back to life, kind of like very Frankenstein-esque in that sense, which I think, you know, when Hulk originally came out, when he was originally created, the series, the character, there was heavy Frankenstein influences there. So this maybe this is like a back to basics type of approach. Damn, that's some really colorful art. Whoever did the coloring on that, wow, that's really well done. Silver Surfer? Maybe? Huh. Interesting. Yeah, it is. Yeah, anyway, I wasn't going to pick this up, but then saw it for a good deal on BD Cosmos, as I said, and figured I'd give it a try. I've heard mixed opinions on this. Some people say this is like one of Hulk's best runs, if not his best. Some people think it's good, but it's overrated. Other people just flat out didn't care for it. So I don't know. I guess I'll see where I land. But whenever there's this much buzz about a series, I gotta be honest, I'm always a little intrigued. But we'll see. Yeah, I'm very happy with BD Cosmos. It was my first time ordering from their website. They had this for 25% off plus an additional discount because of the supposed defect on the dust jacket. Super quick delivery, super great packaging. I'm not sponsored. I'm not sponsored by anybody. I'm just being honest here. Usually I get my books from in-stock trades, and that works out to roughly a 30% discount when you account for shipping and well, the 5% tax and everything. But I gotta be honest, the US dollar to Canadian exchange rate hasn't been that great, so this time it was actually cheaper to order from BD Cosmos, so I went with that, and gotta be honest, really happy with what I got. But anyway, let's move on here. Alright, up next we got a realm-shattering conclusion to a run I reviewed a couple years ago. That is Jason Aaron's Thor, Volume 2. Let's dive into this. Okay, Thor by Jason Aaron Volume 2. I really like this cover. This is the standard cover. Volume 1 standard cover had a similar design, but I think the colors and Russell Dauterman's artwork just really work better here as a cover compared to the Esad Ribic cover from Volume 1. Love that. There is also a direct market cover, but I really did not like it. It's basically just Thor and Lady Thor running at the camera, and I'm not really a fan of the running at the camera type of poses. Maybe if there was more stuff going on in the background, it would be more interesting, but it just seemed kind of plain. Here is the spine. I believe this is much thicker than Volume 1. This is another chonker of a book. Again, really clean design though. Very crisp, if that makes sense. Anyway, war rages across the realms. Oh shoot, that's hella. Yeah, okay. Cover price of $150 US, $187.50 Canadian, so just like Immortal Hulk. But I picked this up from Amazon. Yes, I know. I try to avoid ordering from Amazon, but I was able to pay only $97 Canadian for this after a pretty big discount and a gift card, so couldn't turn that down, you know. And it seems to have arrived in pretty good condition, which is always a guessing game when you're ordering from Amazon. But anyway, dive under the dust jacket here, see what we got. Ooh, okay. I do not recognize this artist, but that is a pretty cool cover. Hold on. Take a look at the spine. And then the back. Okay, so it's kind of a wraparound. Let's do a quick stretch and we can take a look at that. Okay, stretching is done. And wow, I'd say the build quality on this Volume 2 looks to be better than Volume 1. I remember Volume 1 having a pretty small eye when I unboxed it and when I read it too, but this is looking pretty good. The pages are still pretty thin though, but I was flipping through and I don't think I was noticing as much color bleed as I was with Volume 1. Volume 1 had really, really thin pages and a lot of color bleed, and holy crap, this artwork. Wow. Wow, 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 that's really pretty. Holy. That's less pretty. A lot of a mixture of art in here. Different artists. So we'll see how that impacts the reading experience, if it's a little jarring or if it flows well. I don't know. Let's, right. Let's take a look at the wraparound cover. I almost forgot. Up we go. Wow. Very nice. I quite like that. I always like, you know, colorful boards, board designs. I don't really like when it's all one color or if, like it's pure black or whatever. I don't know. I like when it's interesting. Anyway, let's see what is interesting on the inside of this book. Now, I waited quite a while before I picked this up. I knew I wanted to get it eventually, but Volume 1, I was kind of lukewarm on. Like, I enjoyed it, but I felt it was maybe a little bit overhyped. But then again, I'm not really the biggest fan of Thor. I'm probably even less of a fan of Thor than I am of Hulk, just because I found him to be he never really engaged me as a character. But in Volume 1, I really liked the God Butcher story. That was pretty great. The middle of the book sort of meandered for a bit, but then I really enjoyed when the new Thor appeared. I'm going to call her Lady Thor for a lack of a better term, because at this time you have two Thors. You have the regular Thor, and then you have this new mysterious Lady Thor. I won't spoil who that is if just in case somebody's watching this and they don't know. But yeah, I'm definitely curious to see... Oh, it's Loki. Hey, buddy. Definitely curious to see, and I keep getting interrupted. Now we got a picture of Chris Hemsworth here. His massive biceps. Ugh. Jealous. Yeah, really curious to see how this run ends, because a lot of people say that this is the best Thor run. But as I said, because I was just lukewarm on this book, I did want to wait for a good price on it, and hey, paying only 97 bucks Canadian for a book that's normally $187, $50 Canadian. Pretty good deal in my book. But yeah, we'll see. If you guys have read this, let me know how you thought, what you thought about it. No spoilers, of course. But yeah, this run, heavy inspiration for MCU Thor. They picked up a lot of plot points from this book for Love and Thunder, but I'm not really a fan of how that movie was handled. Very disappointing after the rousing success that was Thor Ragnarok. But yeah, we'll see. Maybe I'll enjoy this more than Volume 1. Okay, up next, the adventures of a planet-hopping, universe-wandering nomad with a new companion by his side. Silver Surfer by Dan Slott. Let's pop this open. And there we go, finally. A thinner book, can rest my arms a little bit. This is the standard cover by Mike and Laura Allred for Silver Surfer by Dan Slott, and there is a direct market as well. Both look fantastic. I love both of them. I had a hard time picking which one to go for, but I decided to go for this one in the end. Show you the spine. Very unique art style here for this. So colorful, so zany. I want to say. Cover price of 100 US, 125 Canadian. This I picked up in February for around, I think it was 40% off on in-stock trades. Yeah, let's have a look under the dust jacket here. Oh, if I can get it off, come on. There we go. Okay, looks like just a mirror of the, well, not a mirror, just a copy of the dust jacket design. Yeah, okay. Exact same then. We'll stretch it and then take a look anyway. There we go, stretching is done, but it looks like we got still a pretty decent sized eye for such a small book. Happy to see that. Pages do, ooh, this might be the thinnest pages so far. They do feel very delicate, so I'll try to be careful. Have I noticed? I'm not seeing page bleed yet. Luckily, there's lots and lots of color used, so that could probably be masking it a little bit. No, I do see a little bit of page bleed. I mean, yeah, page bleed here. So that might be a bit of an issue, a bit of a distraction when I'm reading, but we'll see. We'll see if it impacts the reading experience. Here, let me flip roughly to the middle here, and then I will show you that wraparound cover once more. Oh, I'm glad, even though it's the same picture as the dust jacket, I'm glad we opened it up like this, because it looks even more beautiful when it's all spread out like that. Wow. Silver Surfer and his companion there, and Galactus, and Iron Man, and Groot, and Spider-Man's arm and leg. Okay. Love it. Like I said, love nice, colorful board designs. Got some blue bookend pages here. Yeah, so this is another book that really wasn't on my radar for the longest time, but then I kept seeing people rave about this series, and I saw several people placing this book in their top 5 favorite Marvel books or top 5 favorite omnibuses ever. So I mean, immediately intriguing based on the hype. If you don't know who Silver Surfer is, he's this mega powerful cosmic being whose planet came under attack one day by the world eater known as Galactus. So in order to save his planet, Silver Surfer was forced to serve as the herald of Galactus for a long time and look for suitable planets for Galactus to consume. So he's very, very familiar with the far reaches of the universe, but I don't think he's with Galactus anymore by this time. But what also drew me to this is, well, recently my girlfriend has been introducing me to Doctor Who, which I knew nothing about before, literally zero. And apparently, this run is described as having a Doctor Who kind of vibe to it, because Silver Surfer meets a girl, I think her name is Dawn? Maybe, I'm not sure about that. But then together, they start exploring the universe and they go on adventures together, and he's introducing her to all these new worlds and planets and stuff, and I can totally see, based on the few episodes of Doctor Who I've seen so far, I can see where that comparison comes from. And another really, really distinctive thing about this series is the art style. Mike and Laura Allred do all of the art in here, and it's got this delightful, colorful pop art, retro sort of art style here, which, again, really, really makes it stand out from a lot of other books. This sort of crazy, zany stuff reminds me kind of like early Steve Ditko, actually, and some of the panels of Doctor Strange I've seen from his work. Only the will of doom. Got some Doctor Doom in there, Spidey, more Thor, Black Panther, Fantastic Four, Captain Marvel. Interesting. Yeah, I'm intrigued to read this. Oh, there's the image from the direct market cover. I'm intrigued to read this and see how much I really enjoy it and what I'll think about it, and if I will have as much praise and reverence for it as a lot of other people do. Up next, we have the conclusion to my favorite comic series of all time, Ultimate Spider-Man. featured here in the Death of Spider-Man Omnibus. Let's dive in here. And there we are. We got the direct market cover here to the Death of Ultimate Spider-Man Omnibus. There is also a standard cover, which when this book first came out, like several years ago, was the only cover available. But when this reprint came out recently, they added this new cover, and I just found this one more interesting. Got the spine here. Ultimate Spider-Man, Death of Spider-Man. And then the back. Marvel cover gallery, which we love to see. Cover price of $100 US, $125 Canadian. I got this one from BD Cosmos as well for 25% off. Go back here, take a look under the dust jacket. Okay, interesting. Let's see. Very red and blue design, Spidey colors. Again, would I like this more if it was fully in color? Probably, but I gotta admit, this is a pretty cool aesthetic here with the red and the blue exclusively. Let's take a stretch and we'll take a better look. Okay, that's the first stretch done. The eye is okay for a book of this size. Could have been a little bigger though, because we are getting some gutter loss on this spread page here, which is unfortunate. I'm used to seeing better build quality for the Ultimate Spider-Man books. But you might be asking yourself, wait, if this is your favorite comic series, why is it not at the top of your anticipated list? And, well, I'll explain a little bit of that later. But the build quality, the pages are okay. I was noticing some color bleed as I was flipping through and stretching. Yeah, these are pretty flimsy pages. But the colors look pretty good. Yeah, not too bad. Anyway, let's take a look at that wraparound cover one more time. Pop that up here. I do really like that. I gotta be honest. I know I was saying I like the full color better, but that still does pop quite nicely. It's just a really cool picture, even if it is kind of heroes running at the camera. Man, I'm just really contradicting myself all throughout this video, am I not? Anyway, let's dive into here and talk about it a little bit. Now, I went through an interesting kind of cycle with deciding whether or not to pick this book up. I was going to get it when it got reprinted because, hey, this is the conclusion of the Ultimate Spider-Man, the original Ultimate Spider-Man story. It's basically Volume 5 of Ultimate Spider-Man. But then Marvel said that they also want to release a Volume 5 book of Ultimate Spider-Man, and I was so confused because I'm like, I thought this was basically Volume 5 just with a different title. So for a while I was like, okay, maybe I should just wait and see what Marvel does with the supposed Volume 5 that's going to come out. But I don't know, I started thinking about it, and honestly, I don't know what else Marvel could collect besides this that would really add that much more to the overall Ultimate Spider-Man story. So, I don't know, I just decided to go ahead and get this book while it's still available and in print. And hey, if Volume 5 comes out later and it is actually important, then I suppose I'll eat my words, but I don't know, for now I'm fine. It was just important to me to have the entirety of Ultimate Spider-Man finally all collected in omnibus format, now that Volume 4 is coming out later this year. But to be honest, I wouldn't say this is really my favorite section of the Ultimate Spider-Man story. I don't remember enjoying it that much when I first read it, especially once Mark Bagley leaves the book and the art style starts changing, and I don't know, I wasn't as much of a fan. Like, yeah, this art style, I don't remember the name of the artist, I think it's David LaFuente or something like that. Yeah, very, very strange departure from the established art style previously in the series. But yeah, it's still important to me to have the whole story, but I would say the first half of the Ultimate Spider-Man story is definitely much stronger than the latter half. All right, up next we have everybody's favorite faceless investigator, The Question, Omnibus Volume 2, and the only DC book in this haul. I apologize to all you DC fans out there. But anyway, let's go in here. And there we are. Got the standard cover here to the Question Omnibus. Actually, the only cover, I think. I don't think this has a direct market cover. Yeah, the Question Omnibus Volume 2. Love this sort of blue and pink scheme they got going on here. I love that contrast there. Very Easter-like. Here we go. There's the spine. Not too thick of a book. Pretty medium size. He'll get to the truth, or he'll die trying. Is that so? Well, we got a cover price here of, what is that? Oh god, yeah, $125 US, $163 Canadian. I got this in February off of in-stock trades for 52% off. So pretty happy with that. Let's take the dust jacket off. See what we got. Whoa. Can't say I was expecting that. What is that? That is interesting. There's the spine for you. It's not a wraparound. Oh, that's really cool though. That sort of like sketchy design. Question punching the camera right in the face. Huh, but what is this? This is intriguing me the most. It's very like Da Vinci-like, I want to say. Anyway, let's give this a stretch and we'll take a better look at this. Holy crap, guys. You want to talk about tight binding? Look at this. The book, the cover doesn't want to go down. You have to... Damn, look at... Wow. Oh boy. This is going to be a tightly bound book. Okay, so the first stretch is done. It's not as bad as I thought it was going to be. It opened up, the eye opened up relatively okay, but it is still pretty tight binding. The page quality, I'm surprised to say, is on the thinner side for DC books. I'm used to DC having thicker pages, but this feels more like a Marvel book in terms of page thickness. And I'm even noticing some color bleed occasionally, which is very strange for, again, for a DC book. The art is a lot more colorful than I was expecting. I was expecting kind of more of a dirty, muted look to the art. Yeah, kind of like this earlier on. Lots of blues and blacks. Huh. Yeah, but then you go back to color here. Anyway, pretty interesting. Let's flip this open. I know this isn't a wraparound, but we can take a look at this anyway. Yeah, this is really intriguing me, but I also like the really, like the back cover here too. Huh. The art looks quite interesting in here. I don't have too much to say about this book right now. If you don't know who The Question is, he is an investigative reporter who turns to vigilantism in order to seek the truth. Got a contents page. Oh wait, page numbers. Oh, nice. Oh, I love page numbers. And a table of contents. Good job, DC. I like it when you do that. Yeah, and this is Denny O'Neil and Dennis Cowan's series on The Question. I think it was coming out in the late 80s, I want to say. I could be wrong. I still haven't read Volume 1, which I feel silly for. I know I was really excited for it, and I still am. But sometimes it's so hard to find the time to read everything I want. I swear there's no rhyme or reason to what I feel like reading. I kind of just bounce around series all over the place. But again, I did know that I wanted to try out this whole story because people say this series is kind of a hidden gem, a golden oldie, if you will. And I do like that sort of, dirty noir style of crime writing. So something like you might see from Ed Brubaker nowadays. And I don't know, I really wanted to experience this for myself. I just need to find the damn time to finally start Volume 1, but feels like I'm always jumping ahead to a different series. All in a good time, I suppose, though. Let me know what you guys think about this series if you've read it before, or if I should really bump this up my to-be-read list. But yeah, that is The Question Omnibus Volume 2. All right, on to the second last book and the second last Spider-Man related book in this haul. Spider-Man 2099, Volume 2 by Peter David. Let's go in here. And there we are, the gorgeous standard cover to the Spider-Man 2099 Omnibus Volume 2. Love this, because yes, even though he's swinging at the camera or whatever, there's really interesting stuff happening in the background. It's not just plain. Love it. There is a direct market cover too for this book, but it didn't really appeal to me or grab my attention, so I went with this one. There is the spine, which, if I remember correctly, should line up pretty nicely with Volume 1 on the shelf. And then, ooh, look at that. That's an interesting way they've split up the traditional cover gallery. Damn, it looks like there's some really, really good covers in this series. Those look really, really cool. Cover price of $125 US, $156.25 Canadian. This is the third book I picked up from BD Cosmos for 25% off, I believe. And let's go here, flip over the book, take off the dust jacket, and see what we got. Okay, so it's one of those all one tint or shade type of covers. Pretty interesting though. There's Spider-Man 2099's new costume that he gets during this series. There is the spine. And there is the back. Yeah, that's a very, very iconic image from this series. Let's stretch it and we'll take a better look at this book. Okay, done with the stretching. Got a pretty decent eye, it looks like, for a book of this size. Could be a little bit bigger, but I'm pretty happy with that. Let's see. How are the pages looking? Maybe a little bit thicker than some of the other Marvel books we've looked at so far in this haul. Some interesting covers again. Art style. I haven't really noticed any page bleed thus far. So the page thickness seems to be okay. No, never mind. There's a little bit of page bleed here. Pretty minor. Yeah, it doesn't seem to be too bad. Oh, gorgeous. Look at that. Love that art style. I don't know who does that cover. Huh. All right, let's take a quick look at the board of the book here one more time. Very nice. I mean, yeah, it is that sort of one shade type of board design. Again, would have been cooler if it was in full color, but this matches up with the design of Volume 1, so I suppose it's to be expected. All right, yet another Volume 2 where I have yet to read the first volume. Ugh, I'm so bad. I need to get around to reading Volume 1, but as I say, I've been so busy. Gotta pick and choose what I read, and it's always something different. Yeah, if you don't know who Spider-Man 2099 is, this is Miguel O'Hara. This is not Peter Parker. This is the Spider-Man of the future of the year 2099 in Nueva York. Different dimension. Well, that's what Volume 1 covers anyway, because Volume 1's series ended in the 90s. But for Volume 2, this omnibus, the same author, Peter David, eventually continued Spider-Man 2099's story several years later. And this was coming out, I think, around 2015. So I'm not really sure if this story still takes place in 2099 in Nueva York. It seems like it does. But I also was noticing some stories where 2099 was interacting with the main universe Spider-Man, so there's probably some sort of Spider-Verse tie-ins and stuff here. That's most likely what it is. But I'm excited. You know, Peter David is a legendary writer. and he deserves to have his material collected in big books like these for people to read. And I know he's been going through some tough situations with his health, but I hope Peter David recovers soon and will be back in good health. But yeah, this looks really, really interesting. Oh, Superior Spider-Man. Don't know how I feel about that art style there, but oof, that's amazing though. I love how expressive he is in all of his acrobatics. He's definitely more of an agile and acrobatic Spider-Man compared to the main universe one, who's already pretty agile and expressive. But anyway, on to the final book. And it's a good thing it's the final book too, because I'm starting to notice my fingertips are starting to turn black from all the fresh ink I've been touching. But anyway, as I said, let's move on to the final book of the haul, and my most anticipated one, Spider-Man by Chip Zdarsky Omnibus. Let's freaking go, man. And there we are, the standard cover to the Spider-Man by Chip Zdarsky Omnibus. There is also there's two direct market covers actually. There's one featuring Spider-Man and J. Jonah Jameson. And then there's another one infamously dubbed as the ketchup bottle cover, because if you squint your eyes and look at it from far enough away, it just looks like an upside down ketchup bottle. But anyway, I went with this one. I thought it was pretty exciting, pretty interesting looking, nice little homage to Superman, I suppose you could say. Spider-Man tearing his, I guess, lab coat off and got some mustard stains or something there. Here we go. Spine. Got a nice image of black suit Spidey there. And then the back. Zdarsky Super Stories, I'll say. Cover price of $125 US, $156.25 Canadian. This was another one I got in February off of In-Stock Trades. And yeah, pretty happy with that. Let's get the dust jacket off here. Oh, that's pretty interesting. What does that remind me of? It's like, not a newspaper, but, can't put my finger on it. And I like that it's a wraparound. We do like those on our channel. So let's stretch this book and we'll take a better look. Okay, first stretch is done. And that eye is looking pretty great. Let me just push that little piece of paper out the way. Looking pretty good. Nice big eye. Wasn't really noticing gutter loss. I am noticing some page bleed here and there. Not too bad. The thickness, honestly, of a lot of these books is pretty similar. I haven't really noticed much variation in the thickness of these pages across this haul. That's a fun image. Yeah, let's take a look at that wraparound cover. Yeah, there's a lot happening, but I kind of like it. Yes, it's pretty simple, just red and white, but I don't know, I kind of like this design. Pretty happy. Not sure what my favorite board design would be across this haul. I'd have to go back and look at all of them. Anyway, let's dive in here. Blue bookend pages. So this material is probably the newest material from this entire haul, and it would be the material I've read the most recently. Although, I haven't read this stuff. So this book collects Zdarsky's run on Spectacular Spider-Man, plus the two phenomenal standalone stories, Life Story and Spider's Shadow, both of which I've reviewed on this channel, so check that out if you want. But like I said, I haven't read his Spectacular Spider-Man run before, which is this first part here, so I'm excited about that. The art looks pretty interesting. I will say, even if you choose not to get this omnibus, I would say that at least Life Story is a must-read if you're a Spider-Man fan. Man, it's such a love letter to the decades and decades of history of the character. Again, check out my review of Life Story if you haven't before. And then Spider's Shadow as well is phenomenal here. Let me quickly hop to, because this is all Spectacular Spider-Man stuff I want to see. Where is Life Story? Here it is. Yeah, and then Mark Bagley comes over and does the art. So, if you're not familiar with Life Story, it's basically a 6-issue series. Each one takes place in a decade of Spider-Man's history, except it ages Peter Parker in real time accordingly. So you're going through all his stories, like, you know, the origin of the character, of course, and then stuff like the Black Suit Saga and the Clone Saga and Morlun and Miles Morales, and you're stepping across all these chapters of the character's history, but he's growing up and aging as the series goes on, and you kind of see how that changes. You know, there's interesting changes on established stories. Definitely recommend that. And at the back here, we should have, yeah, Spider's Shadow. This is another, basically, it is a what-if story, and it's what if Spider-Man, Peter Parker, did not remove the symbiote originally, and he basically ends up becoming Venom and really getting inside the heads and brutalizing his enemies. And it's a very different, very dark take on Spider-Man. But yeah, I'm also really excited. Zdarsky really understands these characters well, understands Spider-Man very well. But I'm also excited to read his Daredevil run in Omnibus format, which comes out later this year. Super excited about that book. But there we go, ladies and gentlemen, that is the haul. If you've stuck around through the whole thing, as always, thank you so much. And thank you so much for 1,000 subscribers. You can look forward to that Omnibus collection tour coming out on this channel. Hopefully at some point soon, but it's gonna take me a while to put that thing together, let's be honest. But yeah, let me know which one of these books you found to be the most interesting, or if you have any questions, if you've picked any of these up. What order would you place these books in terms of your excitement level? Anything, let me know. But anyways, thank you so much for joining me today, guys. I hope to catch you in another video real soon. So you have yourself a great day. I've been Superfly Comics Guy, and until next time, you keep reading. Bye-bye, guys.